Hello, and welcome to me going through a review or something like that of a song as the title um, attests. The song name is this. Actually, the song name isn't this, it's Calling Occupants, as it says up there, or wherever YouTube puts it. I thought, well, the thing with Carpenters, if I'm going to do like a review, and it's going to be another one of those things where I'm not actually going to play the song over the top of anything because I don't know, it just feels weird, kind of interrupting such a good song. But also too, I just give you the link and you can listen to it at your leisure, so that you're not hearing it edited to bits. With me doing my embarrassing pauses and stuff. But I thought, well, I'll choose Calling Occupants because if I'm going to do a Carpenter song, it's the go-to seems to maybe be kind of like Close to You or We've Only Just Begun or one of those. I thought, no, Calling Occupants. I was listening to it and I thought, yeah, I'll do that. But when I first heard it, I don't think I really quite knew what to make of it. It wasn't so much me thinking, oh, it doesn't fall in with the Carpenter's sound. I just was like, oh, this is. But I do remember a person talking to me about it, and while he liked the Carpenters, he absolutely hated that song. He's like, well, Calling Occupants, what's that all about? Well, I suppose it's about people from outer space, with the whole World Contact Day. Well, in actual fact, the song was originally released by Klaatu, and they were a Canadian group that people honestly thought were a kind of pseudonym for the Beatles. It's kind of like they were so convinced that it was like the Beatles under an assumed name. Probably the same crowd that came out with the whole Paul is dead business and sort of like, well, if he's going to be if he's going to be Billy Shears may as well throw together an album under the name of Klaatu and do things like Calling Occupants. But apparently, it came about from some mob where, according to the songwriter, there was a mob known as the International Flying Saucer. Yeah, the International Flying Saucer Bureau, which kind of makes it sound like a news read, doesn't it? It's like, and now over to the International Flying Saucer Bureau. And apparently they requested their members to be in this experiment, which sounds really kind of as well. Um, Referred to as World Contact Day, and the first words of this World Contact Day was calling occupants of interplanetary crafts. But the thing is, though, is that when the Carpenters did their version, they were actually asked when is this World Contact Day, and they were told that, well, there is no World Contact Day, but judging from the original, there probably was, but maybe it didn't come to fruition, or maybe they hadn't made contact. Maybe the aliens were the same as the ones from I'm a Stranger Here, and they thought, oh no, we're not going to be, once bitten, twice shy. No. We've been through the 5-man electrical band. We don't want to have a bit of Klaatu either. Yeah. But when I actually listened to the Klaatu original, I knew the Carpenters version really well, but I hadn't heard the Klaatu original in years. And so I thought, oh, I'll play it. And I was expecting to hate it, actually, thinking that, oh, well, this. But it's its own. But I could kind of hear where people would have thought how Beatlesque it was. But all it is just the members of the group contributing the instruments, whereas with Richard Carpenter's arrangements, to say that there was only a handful of musicians there would require a lot of hands. Very handy. Especially to play. But I actually do like their version. I don't think I'd want to listen to them side by side. I don't know how that would fare. But yeah, like I say, I can imagine, I can hear how Richard would have been able to shape that towards being a Carpenter song. In actual fact, Richard got so immersed with it that, according to Karen, he spent more time on that than their third album. Well, maybe a bit of exaggeration, but by the same token, albums were done quite quick back then too. Um, Now, the single edit of the song, they took out about what, 2.5 minutes or something. I really do prefer the longer version. What I'm not a huge fan of is the DJ bizzo at the start. I can kind of get the humour that it's trying to convey, but um, yeah, I just yeah, it could probably do without it actually. But great if you want to play it live. It's a good feed in. I know, but I'm not a big. It should have just started with the cold intro, I think. But yeah, I do prefer the album version, and I kind of get the impression that Richard does too when you look at the compilations of his remixed versions. You know, why do it once when you can do it 50 times? He goes a bit over the top, dear old Richard. I'm a fan, but I suppose the Beatles do it too, all these remixes of remixes. Um, Now, the Carpenters version was released in 1977, whereas Clartu's was released the year before, which I suppose could be 1976, but if it was 18 months before, it could still be 1976. Oh, I don't know, just taking a stab in the dark. But I do like the way it was arranged by Peter Knight, and I do like the way it builds up. And what I also do like is that at the end, it keeps going, if that makes sense. Instead of just kind of quickly fading out, you're allowed to enjoy that whole instrumental build up for quite a lengthy period of time. It's just fantastic. And you can almost sort of visualize Richard's hands going across the piano when doing it, all of that as well. Like, I don't do it very well. I just look like a spider doing that, don't I? So, oh, bit of Alvin Stardust again, hey. And apparently it's got the honour of being the longest song title of a UK chart hit. Um, I suppose calling Occupants of Interplanetary Craft the world recognised anthem of World Contact Day or something to do with the world anyway. I'll just keep going with the You knew I was going to botch that up, didn't you? But anyway, it's like I say, it's good. It's good. I like the Clarty version. I like the Carpenters version. Well, obviously, and I can understand why it was released as a single, but and it was edited quite well too. I suppose it wasn't too crammed, so they have done a good job of editing. I suppose a large part of that would have been the fade out too, with the editing there and some of the harmonies in the middle. But yeah, for the full lush version, I'll always go the album version. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this piece of rambling about calling occupants. Calling occupants of interplanetary craft. Something like that. We beseech you. Actually, yeah, that's true. Hopefully you like this, and if you did, please do the likes and subscribes and the bells and the whistles. We beseech you. Well, I do. And above all else, in this day and age, please take care of yourself, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one. Ciao. What's that up there? I think it's a spider. Oh well, one of the teddy bears can catch it.